some challenges here. We got a question for the room.
What the? Oh, thank God.
Oh, yeah, it occasionally
This
freezes.
is interesting.
It's fine.
It says, $10 question for the room. Terry Pratchett wrote, "Why do you go away? So that you can come back. So that you can see the place you came from with new eyes and extra colors. And the people there see you differently too. Coming back to where you started is not the same as never leaving. So where did you go and what changed when you came back?" That's a... Oh, wow.
What a
That's-
big question.
What a
Yeah.
big question. And I think it's a little... It's like, I read that out and I'm like, we're all displaced from where we grew up.
Yeah, I believe in torching bridges behind you.
Yeah.
I don't think, actually, nobody on this shift lives where they grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like it can also be a more metaphysical question that you have not necessarily where you like not that you have moved away and then come back to a place, but that you have done something that has discomforted you
Yes.
in a way that is productive and that allows you to see yourself clearly again. Right? In the branch of chemistry that I study, the algorithm that we use is called, we use an algorithm called Metropolis Monte Carlo, but one of the techniques we use is called parallel tempering, or parallel temperature annealing, where you run many things at once, or many simulations in parallel, and at different temperatures, different energy levels, so that you can swap between them.
Yeah.
And the idea is that it keeps the simulation from converging on traps or strange attractors
Yeah.
in the energy landscape. So anything that keeps you out of like a local energy minimum and allows you to find your truer self is maybe also a way of thinking about this question. How do you get out of a rut?
I mean, for me, it was going away. I literally, like, when I lived in Saskatoon, I was like, I had a part-time job. I was having trouble finding full-time work, and I just needed a change. So without having a job or even like a permanent place to live, I picked up and moved out to Victoria. Fun fact, literally the first thing I did before I even left Saskatoon is I emailed to volunteer at Desert Bus.
That worked out well. Thank you.
I think it did, yes. I emailed volunteers, and it's like, hey, I would like to volunteer for Desert Bus, and I'm going to be local. And Kathleen's like, local sounds great.
Local sounds great. I'm excited. Let's meet for coffee so I can assess you on the stabability index.
Hey, Kathleen, remember the email I sent you to volunteer for Desert Bus the exact week that I moved to Victoria?
It's apparently a trend.
Yeah, I mean, that was like 7 years ago, so...
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I don't remember the email Erica sent me. I remember meeting her for coffee.
But that was kind of like, I was like, I need to do something radically different with my life. And moving out to Victoria seemed like a good way to do that. I was fortunate, like, one of the reasons I picked Victoria was because I have family friends here, and they were like, you can stay in our guest room until you find an apartment. I moved in September. I don't think they were expecting me to not be able to find a place until December. Victoria housing market is not great.
I mean, honestly, that's pretty good.
It's not that bad.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I had no job. I had no permanent place to live. It's just like, I need to go. I packed up my entire apartment and my cat, and I drove out here.
I mean, my thing was that when I turned 18, I went to university at the University of Victoria, and I studied chemistry. And this is a story I've told before, but after 3 semesters, I had basically flunked out because I had spent all of my high school being the smartest kid in the room, or believing I was the smartest kid in the room, and that meant I didn't have to do anything. Which is not a great way to raise someone in productive work habits. So I went back home, and I went to university in Prince George at UNBC, where I studied English. which was the other thing that I had enjoyed in high school. And years later, I had a comfortable job. I was seeing someone that I was quite fond of, and she wanted to go away for university to become a teacher. And I was like, what if while you're doing that, I go back to university and complete my chemistry degree, because it's something that I haven't been able to accomplish. So I did that, and I came here. And like, there's this line in Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, because every technology is accompanied by like an acted voice line that gives you context for what that technology or what that building meant for the people living in it. And one of them is the UN High Commissioner saying that, I think it's for doctrine mobility, says movement by necessity requires a change in perspective. Which I thought was, insightful. And like, moving from where I was comfortable to something that was suddenly like wildly uncomfortable, because it was a space in which I had failed in, but was suddenly more comfortable and was coming back to on my own terms,
Yeah.
was productive and useful, because I had gone to university in the first place because I was good at academics. That was me,
Yeah.
having not done anything else in my life but be good at school. And realizing that it wasn't just something I was good at, but something that I loved,
Right.
meant that I was able to see my relationship with academia clearly.
Okay. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
That makes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I kind of feel like reading the question. I get the sense I'm almost like in the middle of that question. Like, I feel like I have gone away and I haven't gone back somewhere to see it with clear eyes yet. Is sort of the sense that that's like, when I read that question, that was like the first thing that hit me. So I guess I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, right. That we're always kind of in the process of being annealed.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that you can truly answer that question as you close your eyes for the last time and you reflect upon the totality of your existence, and you go back to whatever primal energy soup spirits come from, and then you go, I mucked that one up a bit.
It's like, third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be perfect next time.
Yeah. All right.
What was the original prompt, if you don't mind?
So it was a question for the room. There's a Terry Pratchett quote. I'll just read it for you again because it's a lovely quote.
Okay.
Why do you go away? So that you can come back. So that you can see the place you came from with new eyes and extra colors. And the people there see you differently too. Coming back to where you started is not the same as never leaving. And their question is, where did you go and what changed when you came back?
Wow, that's cool.
And it is definitely one of those questions that I read that and everyone in the room was like, huh.
That's a big think this early in the afternoon.
It is. Yep.